What's going on, all you wild sisters out there? It's your two favorite Bene Gesserit enthusiasts for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers. That's my beautiful good mate over there.
I'm Henry Hill, and welcome. Your two favorite spice enthusiasts are indeed back, and we are covering a show that we binged. We binged it over the past couple weeks. It aired a few months ago. It was an HBO Max original series. It's a prequel to the Dune movies, the Denis Villeneuve movies. This one deals with the sisterhood, and it takes place 10,000 years before Dune, part one and part two. That's right, we are talking about Dune Prophecy.
Take out your blade. The reckoning is here. I run a school for young women. We're not a threat to anyone.
Wild Boys are back at it. Of course, we got the prequel 6 episode series that, streamed on Max. Finally got around to watching this. Had a really great time with this. I actually started watching this on an airplane ride back, from Denver to Chicago. Got really involved. Love the characters. Love, the world they're setting up here. Having to do with the sisterhood, having to do with the Harkonnen sisters, Valia and Tula, the sisters here. It kind of rewinds a little bit back when Valia was younger, her powers, what's going to happen in the future, having to do with this reckoning. And fast forward all these years later, we have Emily Watson playing Valia, and she was incredible. And this is a very female-driven series and show, and I really appreciated that. They gave the boys a run for the money.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. It originally was supposed to be Dune the Sisterhood before they retitled it to the Dune Prophecy. So you can see why, like you mentioned, it's heavily focused on the sisterhood. Emily Watson here, an established actress. She's been in a ton of things, Harry Potter, a lot of English shows, and here she's the lead here. She's Valia Harkonnen, one of the Harkonnen sisters, along with Tula, another actress that we knew that played the older version of Tula, Olivia Williams. So they got a couple really good actresses, English actresses, to play the two leads here. And then, of course, behind you there, we have that interesting looking fellow there, Travis Fimmel. You might have remembered him from Vikings. He was also in Raised by Wolves, the short-lived HBO series, sci-fi too. And his character was really interesting. And then to round things out, you had Mark Strong, who's, shows up in a lot of things nowadays. He showed up in The Penguin on Max a few months back, and now he's here in the Dune universe, and he plays Halico, kind of like the Emperor, and he's the leader. And it's really there's a lot of politics involved here. There's a lot of differing opinions about how things should be ran, and you introduced powers, especially by Desmond Hart there, Travis Fimmel, and it leads to some interesting events here taking place 10,000 years before the Dune movies.
What I thought was really interesting is Valia's character. I liked the young version, played by Jessica Barden. She was in a Netflix series, End of the Fucking World, which was an incredible series. If you haven't seen
Mhm.
it out there, but she plays young Valia. Fast forward all these years later to Emily Watson. I thought they did a great job of kind of the backstory and how she got to where she's at currently. And really what she's trying to do is scheme, take over the Imperium, which is like the region's government, and going after the leader, Emperor Carino, played by Mark Strong, because he's has no backbone. So it's all about power and politics, as you're saying, and it's crazy, sci-fi fantasy adventure up in space. And it's a visually stimulating show. It's a beautiful looking show. The visual effects CGI on this look really incredible. In the same vein of like the movie. Obviously not as good, but it looked good. Looked like a great place. I liked all the color schemes they used in the music and the score. Really built a really awesome atmosphere in a short 6 episodes. And this is based off spin-off, a book written by Brian Herbert, not Frank Herbert, but spin-off by his son in 2012. So I thought they adapted this beautifully.
The wild Bene Gesserit. Very interesting. Yeah, it was interesting to see how this would translate on the small screen coming from the movies with, huge canvas, the deserts of Arrakis there, all the awesome, amazing cinematography, the wardrobe, the score. And I really felt like this Max limited series nailed it as far as bringing that over to the small screen, and it doesn't feel like it's skimping out on anything. It doesn't feel like a direct to cable show that we'd see from movies, 10 years ago, let's say, when a movie got a spin-off show. It was cheapened down. They didn't spend as much money on this. It looks like they put a lot into the budget. You get a lot more dialogue here. There's a lot of story building, of course, so there's not as many effects, but you see the huge sandworm from time to time. You do see some really awesome gore, thanks to old Desmond there, who has some very interesting powers. Really loved his character, and he remained mysterious throughout the whole thing. You find out how he ties into the whole story here with this Bene Gesserit, and then battling out with the Emperor there. He's kind of like a rebel of the whole thing, who you don't really know whose side he's really on, and it keeps you guessing all the way into the end. I really love what they did here, setting up these relationships, a lot of politics involved here, but done in a way that keeps you interested. It took me a couple episodes to get into it and to learn everybody's names. That was like the hardest thing for me to do with this show. There's a lot of lore here. Just coming from the movies, I have, somewhat of a knowledge of this universe, but I haven't read the books or anything. So it kind of took me a while to get used to the names and the people. But, by episode 3 on, I was really invested into it, and I really thought that the last two to three episodes, it really hit its sweet spot. It had action, and it combined all that and the drama, everything, hit was going in stride leading into the end, and really enjoyed this series as a whole. Really had a great time with it. Thought the performances were great, well directed, the perfect number of episodes for this season. And, with how it left, very interesting because they already announced a season 2. And, we're finally going to head on to Arrakis. And, hopefully the effects and the cinematography, we're going to see more of the sandworm because Desmond's character has a lot to do with that. We're not going to spoil anything here, but there's some really cool things to come in this universe. And I really enjoyed this show.
Shia. Yeah, the whole sandworm scenes in this season were incredible. Watched it downstairs in the big TV. It felt like it was like popping out at you and gonna suck you up. I thought really well done visual effects, very, very eerie and awesome and realistic at the same time. Can't wait to see where they do with that in the next season. Travis Fimmel, huge fan of his. I love Vikings. I loved his character in that show and then him coming over to this series and the Dune universe. I was really impressed with his character right from the get-go. Wasn't sure if he's good, wasn't sure if he's bad. And then one of my favorite parts of the season is having to do with the kid, this little annoying shithead kid. I think it was the first episode, burns him up. I'm like, okay, this is where they're going with this. So I was hooked from episode 1. I don't see all the hate from all the critics. I don't know why it's doing poorly. I thought it was well executed, had my interest, really interesting characters, kind of a spin-off taking place before Dune. So really expanding this universe. Visually beautiful looking series, great performances. Emily Watson, Olivia Williams, Travis Fimmel, the list goes on and on. There's a lot more they can do with this with Arrakis and the upcoming season. So I'm definitely invested. Had a great time with Dune Prophecy. Check it out. It's currently streaming on Max. So that being said, I'm going to give Dune Prophecy, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Mark Strong hair pieces.
Yeah, I think I too am going to give Dune Prophecy. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 spice 8-ball hair pieces. So we want to hear from all you guys. What did you guys think of Dune Prophecy? Were you as fully invested into it as we were? Let us know in the comment section below. And please don't forget to click or stab subscribe. Also, follow along with us on all our social media pages and our website, Cinephellas.com, for all the latest and greatest in TV movie news and reviews.
Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel right here. Me and this beautiful man over there will be recording videos, TV shows, movies, and video games, and much, much more every week of the year. Stay tuned for that.
So until the next time, I'm Uncle. Henry Strong.
And I'm Uncle Logan Harkonnen signing out until the next TV review. Cheese!